It's our perception that we're in a very unique and troubling historical moment, and that that is one, nevertheless, that has possibilities of renewal, social renewal, spiritual renewal, moral renewal, that have not been available to us. Overall, we are living in and entering catastrophe, a planetary catastrophe involving the ecology of the planet, a catastrophe involving the nature of our society, and many of us increasingly believe that the largest amount of oil produced per year in the world is now in the past. The largest month's production was in May of 2005, and there's no sign that that is going to be exceeded anytime soon. A study was published last week, commissioned by the Bundestag, that says that the oil production of the world peaked last year, and they anticipate production falling now at about 3% per year. Those countries which export oil are likely to do so less and less because they have increasing internal demand, and they control an asset which is rapidly increasing in price. So the net oil available to importing countries such as ourselves will certainly fall at a much greater rate than 3% per year. It wouldn't be unusual to think of this in the 5 to 10% per year range. These changes will trigger a lot of things happening in the United States, and will present enormous challenges to the world's agricultural systems, already deeply challenged by availability of water. Disease, migrations, war will be all too frequent in the coming decades. Given the lack of substitutes for high energy density liquid fuels, the type that run tractors and drive trucks, it's difficult to foresee that the world's agricultural system will be able to maintain itself. I should say that natural gas in North America is in a similar situation. Plutonium pit manufacturing is an expensive operation that requires enormous management dedication. It hasn't happened since 1989. The last facility built to do this was built in the 80s, and it didn't work and had to be abandoned after about a month. At Rocky Flats, the last big building at Rocky Flats, I think it might be 778, just never worked out. So Los Alamos is, for the foreseeable future, the designated site for this activity. What scale it takes place at will greatly affect the laboratory, and will affect the foreign relations of the United States. It will affect the environment of northern New Mexico. It will affect the risk that is involved in the activity, and it will affect the economic development prospects for this area to some unknown and cryptic extent. So it affects a lot of things. Plutonium pit manufacturing is an expensive operation that requires enormous management dedication. It hasn't happened since 1989. The last facility built to do this was built in the 80s, and it didn't work and had to be abandoned after about a month. At Rocky Flats, the last big building at Rocky Flats, I think it might be 778, just never worked out. It had design errors, and it was a major project, and it was a fiasco. There is a very large plutonium building Actually, 2 of them under construction at Los Alamos right now. Collectively, those 2 buildings are called the Chemistry and Metallurgy Research Replacement Facility, CMRR. The future of that project, which is going to be about a $2 billion project, it was costed originally at about $500 million, and this year it was almost $1 billion. In the spring, in response to a question from Senator Domenici, they estimated the cost at 1.5 to 1.7 billion, and not all those costs are what they call validated. They haven't really finished the design process, so those costs are going to go up. In addition, there are other ancillary pieces of the project scattered in other congressional line items. So really there's about $2.5 or possibly $3 billion in plutonium-related construction planned for Los Alamos National Laboratory. These construction dollars come from program dollars and throw people out of work, although they hire construction workers. So that's definitely something that is affecting people, and there'll soon be notices to the Los Alamos employees of some sort about changes in the overall employment at the lab, maybe before Thanksgiving. There's a lot of rumors. Congress, generally speaking, doesn't like Los Alamos Lab. And especially in the House, Congress is nervous about nuclear weapons expenses, period. To the extent that Congress is able to focus on the subject at all, they're nervous about it. Nuclear weapons are not popular with the public. New nuclear weapons are very unpopular with the public. There is a poll from the Simons Foundation on that table there, which says that new nuclear weapons are supported at the 3% level in a poll of 1,000 adults in the United States. So when the administration proposes its new warhead plans, whether it be a bunker buster or the RRW, they are pushing against 97% of the electorate. Debate causes problems for the nuclear weapons business. There are security costs which are going up each year. The security problems are by no means resolved. There are safety problems which are by no means resolved. We have aging infrastructure, very low skill level in certain key groups of people at the laboratory. In other words, the skill attrition, which the nuclear hawks are extremely concerned about, is actually taking place. And this hampers activities. So, for example, the laboratory believes it needs to have 41 new facilities engineers to operate its nuclear facilities. Where they're going to get these people? It's not so easy. The plutonium operators, the fissile material operators, have not been certified who are working on the production project. The plutonium facility right now is shut down for the most part because of safety problems that haven't been solved, and it won't. It's unlikely to fully start up again until sometime next year. So it'll be shut down for about a quarter, from late September to sometime in January.